Imagine this. The stadium lights dim for just a moment, the energy shifts, and the roar of thousands of fans settles into an unexpected silence. It's Thanksgiving night, the biggest game of the week, but suddenly it feels like everyone is holding their breath. Out walks Post Malone, not just as a performer ready to electrify the halftime show, but as a man carrying a message heavier than any beat, louder than any cheer. No one knows what he's about to say, but within seconds, the stadium will understand that this night isn't just about football anymore. It's about loss, remembrance, and a number that will forever echo in the hearts of fans. 94. When Post Malone stepped onto that stage during the Thanksgiving NFL Showdown, millions expected a high-energy performance. And sure, he delivered the music, a powerful medley of wrong ones, wow, and the massive hit, I Had Some Help. But what no one saw coming was the moment that followed, a moment that cut through the noise, a moment that made the packed AT&T Stadium fall completely silent. As the final notes faded, Post Malone stood still, wearing a Dallas Cowboys jacket, decorated with patches and pins, and most striking of all, the bold number 94 emblazoned on one side. It wasn't an accessory. It was a tribute. He lifted the mic, looked out at the crowd, and instead of launching into a final hype line, he spoke from a place of genuine emotion. "I love you so very much, Dallas, Texas," he said, his voice steady, heartfelt, and raw. The fans roared back, thinking the moment was just another warm acknowledgement. But then he lowered his tone and added the words that froze the stadium. "And we love you, 94. We love you." In those few words, the crowd instantly understood. The number belonged to Marshawn Kneeland, the young, promising Dallas Cowboys defensive end, who had tragically lost his life earlier this month at just 24 years old. His death shook the NFL and left teammates, fans, friends, and family devastated. After a police chase in Texas on November 6, Kneeland died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. The news spread like wildfire across the sports world, leaving behind unanswered questions, broken hearts, and players struggling to comprehend the loss of someone they had battled alongside. Over the weeks that followed, tributes emerged everywhere. Cowboys players wore 94 decals on their helmets. Fans held signs with his name. Moments of silence were observed at games. But on this Thanksgiving night, Post Malone transformed his halftime show into a national moment of collective mourning. It didn't matter that it was a holiday. It didn't matter that millions were watching for entertainment. In that one instant, everything shifted. The music became secondary, and the message became the heartbeat of the night. Teammates watching from the sidelines bowed their heads. Some fans placed hands over their hearts. Others recorded the moment with tears welling in their eyes. Social media exploded as viewers across the world reacted in real time. "Long live 94 Malawian Kwaches," one post read. Another said, "Post Malone honoring Marshawn Kneeland was the moment of the night." People weren't just touched, they were united by a shared grief, a shared memory, and a shared understanding of the fragility of life. What made the tribute so powerful wasn't just the words. It was the silence that followed, a silence so heavy, so real, that it felt like the entire world had paused to remember a young man whose story ended far too soon. In a stadium built for noise, cheers, and chaos, that silence was louder than anything Post Malone could have sung. It reminded everyone that behind every jersey number is a human being, someone with dreams, with struggles, with moments of triumph and moments of pain. Marshawn Kneeland wasn't just a player. He was a teammate, a friend, a young man with a future that he never got to live out. And Post Malone understood that. He used his platform not to promote an album, not to hype the crowd, but to show love. Real love, respect, and remembrance. The Cowboys would eventually go on to win the game in a tight 31-28 victory against the Kansas City Chiefs. But for countless fans, the score felt like a footnote. The halftime show, and that emotional tribute, became the centerpiece of the night. People didn't walk away remembering the touchdowns. They walked away remembering the message. "We love you, 94. Moments like these are rare in sports. Halftime shows are usually spectacles, lights, dancers, fireworks, all about entertainment. But this time, Post Malone turned the spectacle into something solemn and human. He reminded everyone watching that grief doesn't follow schedules, loss doesn't wait, and love, true love, is powerful enough to unite millions in a single breath. For the Cowboys organization, the tribute was a gift. For Kneeland's family, it was a public embrace. For fans, it was a reminder to appreciate the people we care about while they're still here. And for anyone facing silent battles of their own, it was a message wrapped in compassion: you matter. You're remembered. You're loved. As the night ended and the lights dimmed, fans carried that moment home with them. A simple phrase, "We love you 94," echoed in countless hearts. Because Post Malone didn't just perform music that night. He performed something far greater. A moment of healing, a moment of connection, a moment that transformed a football game into a tribute that will be remembered for years. And for Marshawn Kneeland, number 94, his legacy didn't end on November 6th. It lived on in the cheers, in the silence, and in the voice of an artist who made sure the world paused long enough to honor him.